The art of making something so functional as a kitchen into a magnificent piece of artwork is not new, but deeply rooted in historical, geographical, and religious traditions. In 17th and 18th century America, the typical German immigrant was a farmer or craftsman. They were not wealthy, yet they showed their appreciation for detail in their craftsmanship, adding a sense of customization and luxury to common household furnishings. A rather conservative people, consisting of many Mennonites, created a surprising amount of extravagant, detailed, and innovative products. Chests and cabinets boasted intricate designs, often indicating the name or initials of their owners, and beautiful carvings and castings adorned large grandfather clocks that would be passed down from generation to generation. Many who settled in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, were both talented woodworkers and prosperous consumers who desired the best of everything. This provided the perfect opportunity for an economy rich in resourcefulness and ingenuity. The Pennsylvania German woodworkers instilled a balance of functionality and beauty in the furniture that they crafted, always striving for perfection to meet the demands of their customers. It is out of this tradition and lineage that Premier was born, a company that is the antithesis of gut genug, good enough, and the epitome of immer besser, always better. The Premier's story begins with one man's vision. In 1991, Marlin Horst found himself at a pivotal place in life. He was faced with the opportunity to envision a new company in cabinet making, one that would be a leader in the industry committed to excellence.
Over the years, I had become a jack of all trades, and I felt comfortable as a machinist, a carpenter, mechanic, plumber, and electrician. God had given me a knack for picking up things quickly, so I had a number of career paths that I could have chosen, but none of them held any attraction for me except cabinetry. My recent experiences in the industry confirmed in my heart that this was where I belonged. The joy I knew as a child helping my dad in his wood shop building cabinetry wasn't just feel-good nostalgia. Years later, these early experiences pointed me true north toward God's plan for my life. At times throughout my career, I had thought about the possibility of starting my own business.
Marlin wanted to build life-giving partnerships with designers and give his team a superior employment experience. Innovation, stewardship, and generosity were all stamped into Premier's identity from the beginning. When he articulated his core values on paper a few years later, he very intentionally included this phrase in the opening: "We attempt to honor God in all we do." This reference point guided him and his team well in the ensuing years as they carved out a niche in the market. Much thought was placed into how the company would be built. Premier would not mimic others, but forge its own way. The goal was to build relationships, communicate a vision, and then give these gifted designers a unique product that elevated them and their firms in the eyes of their clients. With a solid vision, and after a tenacious pursuit of their first designer, on October 15, 1991, they delivered their first project 100% complete and on time. Premier was officially in business.
In the early years, we worked on one kitchen at a time. Everybody knew what we were supposed to do, and we all interacted with each other. We were all working managers at the time. Marlin and Jeannie were great examples of servant leaders, working late, cleaning the shop, and doing whatever it took.
The early years were very much about cultivating relationships with their designers. As they found designers that were truly talented, they in turn pushed Premier to craft better kitchens.
We weren't just order takers. We wanted to interact with the designers to make sure their projects worked in the field. And through that process, we truly became partners. We learned to trust each other and bring out the best in each other.
By being willing to take risks in their finishing capabilities and focusing on their relationships with designers, Premier's partnerships grew. This commitment drove Premier's reputation forward, and they became known for great customer service. The team's love of innovation created a culture where they would try just about anything their designers asked, and it created a lot of momentum in the market. By the mid-90s, Premier's team was growing in size, skill, and credibility with a number of talented designers around the country. Marlin was assembling the right mix of craftsmen, project managers, and administrative personnel to carve out a niche in the market and to pursue some design ideas that could carry Premier even further. In 1997, designer Scott Stoltz joined Premier as a design consultant and began developing a series of period-style cabinetry lines that gave Premier a significant edge in the market. The designs had a unique look that invited the end user to enjoy not only the cabinetry but also the history behind it. The first sketchbook came out in 1999 and was distributed solely to Premier's designers. The designers loved the collections and presented them to their clientele with enthusiasm. Scott says, "Our collaboration allowed me to dream, dig into history and culture, and then create heirloom cabinetry lines. It gave Premier the opportunity to craft many beautiful kitchens that connected their clients with some of the larger themes of our culture and helped them find the balance between something familiar and warm and something new and exciting." After 15 years in the industry, the talented team assembled at 110 Short Street was thriving, and an elite group of designers from around the country had embraced Premier's mission to partner together to craft some of the best kitchens in the country. Premier's vision was materializing, but Marlin's thoughts were turning to some big questions about succession. What will Premier look like after I step down from leadership? How will it continue to thrive in the future? With a resolve to see the company continue on, Marlin and Jeannie had some heartfelt conversations about what the path forward might look like. Ultimately, as the family became a larger part of the ongoing deliberation, Marlin's oldest son, Sheldon, was the person who joined Premier as the possible future leader.
I felt this growing desire to make sure that Premier wasn't sold to an equity group when Dad retired, and wanted to secure its future as a multi-generational business in our family's care.
Sheldon's work at Premier began with a 3-year trial period to learn as much as possible about the business and, more importantly, to find out if he was the right person to be the second-generation leader.
It was during my second year that I came away with an understanding of how technical in nature our process was, and the realization that this was a great place for young engineers. My systems awareness of where the company was and needed to go really came alive. By the beginning of year 3, I had assimilated into a second-in-command position in the company, a move that felt very natural.
In 2012, Sheldon became president of Premier. He not only has a vision and passion to prosper the business, he also views Premier as uniquely positioned to preserve this special craft through which many men and women around Lancaster County experience their calling. Premier employs gifted craftsmen and works with the best designers around the country, a winning combination that has resulted in a product offering unmatched in the industry. From multi-step and high-gloss finishes to exotic veneers, textures, and metal, few possess Premier's capabilities or offer their breadth of product.
Not only do we craft unique and interesting cabinetry, we also build furniture and refrigerated wine units, carved islands, and polished metal and glass cabinets. Our team has a dedicated work ethic rooted in a history of craftsmanship and all the skills needed to perform at the top of the ultra-custom luxury market.
Premier is dedicated to growing its product offerings, its team, and its manufacturing capabilities. Through carefully planned additions of craftsmen, machinery, and manufacturing space, Premier has positioned itself to meet the ongoing demands of the ultra-high-end market for years to come.
Our leadership team remains dedicated to the original mission, values, and vision. We remain strongly focused on excellence and are always striving to be better so that we can create the next new thing for our designers and their clients. As we maintain our position in the industry as people who think outside the box and push design boundaries, we will naturally hold on to the practices that have made us the great company we are today. Ultimately, this will preserve our craft.
Premier custom-built cabinetry continues to work out its roots and its cultural heritage by leading the industry with innovation and craftsmanship. It is a team comprised of dedicated craftsmen, artists, and innovators, a team committed to excellence. They dream, plan, draw, cut, build, sand, finish, and then piece it all together. It's their craft, and they've become very good at it. They make cabinetry, and they make it beautifully.